Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming an advice video and I really wanted to start getting into these. If you guys are interested in any other topics that I can cover, just let me know. But today I'm focusing on community college. Now I know YouTube is saturated with high school, four-year college, four-year university advice videos, but I wanted to give you guys an alternative. Community college is an option and I want to give you guys my tips and advice based on my own personal experience while also clearing up some myths because there are so many negative misconceptions connected to community college. I wrote down all my tips and advice, so if you guys want to hear those, just keep on watching. Alright, so I first want to cover the misconceptions attached to community college. I live in a city where I have both the university and a community college, and when I tell people that I go to the community college, they give me this face, and I recognize that face. I know that they're thinking that I don't get the same education. They somehow think that my teachers are underqualified, I don't live the same college experience, and I don't have the same abilities as someone else who goes to a different university, and this is so false and it pisses me off so much because it's so not true. First of all, we do have real competition in our classrooms. In community college, we have what are called commuter students, meaning that they come from different places in life, and you see that by just seeing different ages that go to community college. A lot of these students come there just because they have a career change, because they're straight out of high school and they're moving on to a four-year university. They just have so many reasons why they're there. I've had so many students in my classrooms come from different universities and they're there just to take extra classes or satisfy prerequisites for a different school that they want to move on to. One of my best friends that I made in community college is an Ivy League student who's just there to fill in the prerequisites for his medical school. So while he had A's in his classes, so did other students. So we had true competition. Our professors are not underqualified. A lot of these professors even have their doctor's degree. I've had the chance to have Harvard PhD professors teach my biology courses. So a lot of the times these professors teach at both community and a different university, and a lot of the times they actually prefer to teach at community college just because if they're there longer, they're going to get paid more. That's just a fact. I think that a lot of misconceptions come around the fact that community college don't require SAT scores or pretty much anything like that. Their admissions progress is really easy. They pretty much admit everybody, and that shouldn't really be a factor as to why they think we don't have the best education. We do have the same abilities just as everyone else. And it's true that community college experience is a little bit different. We don't have sororities and fraternities and stuff like that, but it doesn't limit us from having fun. We do have sports and clubs and different events like that students can be a part of if they feel that it's necessary or if they want to be a part of it. Like I said, I live in a city where I have both, and then there's one downtown, and guess what? All the students from both schools go to the same bars and have fun. So the college experience is really up to every person, and it's what you make of it. So now that I covered the misconceptions that I really want to clear up, let's go into the tips. Tip number one is be friendly to people. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, but it's actually so crucially important in college. If you guys have already made the transition between high school and college, you guys have probably noticed the change in atmosphere. In high school, nobody wants to be alone. Everybody needs friends. Everyone wants to socialize, and it just feels weird to be alone. As opposed to college, for some reason, everybody loves the freedom and do things on their own, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. But to some extent, you guys need to make friends in every single class. I'm telling you guys, it's only gonna benefit you. If you guys don't make friends and you don't show yourselves as a friendly person, then you guys are just gonna hurt yourselves. And I say this from personal experience. I used to talk to nobody in my class. I would just walk out to my car during break, come back, and stick to myself, speak to no one, and just smile at nobody. I was so unfriendly. I used to have this class where I was so miserable and I just hated it so much. And now that I think about it, I was probably miserable because I made it so horrible on myself. At this time, I used to drive from work to school, and the school was pretty far away. It took me about an hour to drive to school, and I show up to class and the class was canceled. Students in my class who were already in campus because they had a nerdier class or they were just hanging out around campus found out, and they would text each other this, and of course I made no friends. So I felt like an idiot for showing up. Nobody let me know, and I was so mad that I drove an hour away to my only class of the day and it was canceled. If you guys make friends, you're gonna know if class was canceled. You guys are gonna get caught up with homework and notes if you missed anything, and it's just always so cool to know that someone has your back as well as having someone's back. And if you guys are a reserved, shy person, then that's okay. Just smile, look happy, and just look approachable, because if you're not the person to really initiate a conversation with someone, then someone will start a conversation with you if you look like a friendly person. It's just gonna help you guys so much. My tip number two is to become studious. You guys are gonna notice that in college you really have to set aside time to study. In high school you can get away with studying very minimal or not at all a lot of the times because it's just not challenging enough and the system is completely different. In college, you're really relying on doing well in your exams. a lot of the times I found that studying in a group worked better for me. So the moment I started to become friendly and started texting people and started exchanging numbers with somebody else in my class and encouraging a study group, I did so much better in my classes. And I just felt happier to be in a classroom where I had friends who could help me if I had any questions at all. So you guys really should start texting and branching out to different people in your class. And if you're not that person, if you think that you study better alone, just set aside a desk area. Just make yourself a perfect environment to just sit down, study, and focus in school. Tip number 3 is to become personable with your teachers. Now hear me out, guys. Every time I used to hear this, I thought I don't want to become teacher's pet, and that's not at all what I mean. What I mean is you have to get to know your professor, and more than that, get the professor to know your name. You may find yourself in a classroom of 70 people, and the teacher might go on the whole semester without recognizing your face, without knowing your name, and that's not good. It can only help you to get the teacher to know who you are if you seek the help when you need it. If you put in all the effort into class, the professor will notice this. And if you're in the borderline between an A and a B, and it comes down to just rounding up some numbers, the professor will boost you up. Trust me, this actually does happen, and it only helps you. You guys need to get to know your professors. They're your biggest resource. Really go to them, visit them at their office hours. A lot of times in community college, professors are there part-time, so they have a lot of time set aside to be there for you if you needed any help. I really suggest you guys visit the office hours at least once or twice a month, just to show the teacher that you're putting in your best effort. You guys are gonna soon realize that making good relationships with your professors is gonna help you. At one point or another, you're gonna need a professional reference, like a letter of recommendation, for example, and you don't want to find yourself in an awkward situation where you have no one to go to because you never made an impact in class, you never cared to get to know your teacher, and your teacher doesn't know you, and you don't want to find yourself in that awkward bad situation. You guys want to have options and get to know your professor so that you have those professional references and they have something good to say about you. I really highly suggest Rate My Professor. If you guys already don't know about this website, it's really good. You type in the name of your professor in any given school, and what this website does is it gives you a rating from different former students that already took the class. So what the students will do, they'll give you tips on how to succeed in class. They'll tell you how the professor usually grades, their teaching style, how organized they are, and so that really helps you out. If you guys are in a process of just registering for a class, checking up Rate My Professor is really going to help you out in deciding which professor you want to take. And oddly enough, this website tells you if the teacher is hot or not. It actually has a rating to see how hot your professors are, of course, from students. So yeah, I really suggest Rate My Professor and get to know your professor. Tip number 4 is to budget your money. And I know how hard this is. It's hard for full-on adults with their careers to know where to allocate their money properly, and it's really important. I can make a whole separate video on this. I'm not an expert by no means, but it really just takes a lot of self-discipline and planning to know where to put your money. If you have a job while going to school, just remember to always set education as a priority. Don't ever miss a class because of work, you know what I mean? So you just really should make good decisions when it comes to your money. My tip number 5 is make a plan. You have to always have a plan. You should always have short-term goals and a long-term goal. Think of where you want to be in 5 years and work towards getting there. If you guys just take classes here and there without knowing what you want to do, then you're really just going to be wasting your time. So I really suggest making the most out of your resources available to you. Something that has really worked for me is to plan my schedule by mixing my easy classes along with my difficult classes. And you guys should really have this in mind when you register for your classes. Make sure that you plan around your schedule. Don't have all your classes in one single day if you don't need to, and it really all depends because everyone has different schedules, but just really be smart about it. Another website that has really helped me throughout my college experience has been assist.org, and I really highly suggest this website to you guys. And what this website does is it'll give you a whole list of all the classes you need prior to transferring or applying to a different school. You just put in your major, the school you go to now, and the school you want to transfer to, and you can always refer back to it when you want to plan out your schedule for the semester and stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to go see a counselor to see this website and know what classes you need to take, which is why I think it is so amazing. But also don't neglect visiting your counselor and stuff like that to always know what you want to do. My final and last tip is to not get discouraged, guys. Trust me, this is a big one. I've experienced getting unmotivated so many times during my college experience. I feel that I've been there for so long, and around last year, spring, summertime, everybody that I graduated with was moving up in life, I guess, in a way. They were going on to med school, they had a bachelor's degree already, they were going on to their master's degree, they were graduating, and I felt stuck. I can't think that way. You guys can't stop and compare yourself to anybody else. Instead, use it as a motivation. If they can do it, then you can do it too. And if you make the best out of your resources, you guys are gonna get through it. And if you're an undecided major, don't worry about it. This happens all the time. Some people go into a university with a grant or a scholarship and then they change their major. It happens all the time. It's so much more common than you think. I personally changed my major. I was a paralegal major, and then I decided to become a dietitian, so I switched over to biology, and that is perfectly fine. Sometimes you can get through the entire general ed without knowing what you want to do until you figure it out, and that is okay. But just get through it, guys. I promise you it'll all be well worth it, so don't get discouraged. Alright guys, so that wraps up everything I had for you. I hope you can take something from it. I had a perfect list of all the stuff I was going to say, and at the end of the day I ended up talking so much, and I had so much trouble getting this video filmed for you guys. This tapestry fell a few times, my camera died, and I'm happy I'm done with this, but I hope you can take something from it. I really meant everything I had for you guys. So if you guys did end up liking it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I struggled so hard with these fake lashes, by the way, but let's just pretend that they look okay.